The question that we were asked was, what are the challenges rural electric cooperatives in Missouri, like Como, face with the federal government's push for green energy? One day, there were these two old men sitting in a coffee shop. Ralph was reading the local newspaper, Tipton Times, and Tom was looking at the rural magazine, Missouri Magazine. They were just having a good old day before going out on the farm to tend to the fields. Tom got to the section in the Rural Missouri Magazine where Como puts in local news called Como Country. As Tom began to read, he groaned and said, "Those gosh darn people think everybody has to go green." Ralph said, "I think we should go green. It's a good idea." Tom said, "This article says all these good things about going green and that they know how to save money for us, but what really has been happening in the last couple of months is our electric bill has been rising because of this going green energy." Ralph said, "Well, why don't you like the idea of going green?" Tom began to explain. Well, rural electric co-ops, like Como, face challenges with the federal government trying to push green energy. In this section, they are saying utility bills have risen almost 30% in the last couple of years. The cost of fuel and cost to build new machines and new power generation is rising, making it hard on people to pay for their electricity. On average, a household spends almost $1,400 per year on electricity. This is almost 8% of a person's income. That is crazy. Ralph listened and replied, "Well, if we would use wind farms, solar plants, and nuclear plants, we wouldn't have to worry about using coal and fuel. The thing is getting co-ops to switch over. They could use the cap and trade legislation. This is saying the legislation would cap the amount of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases that are sent into the air. Businesses that let out these gases would have to earn credits to cover their emissions. This would be traded like corn and soybeans." Shaking his head, Tom says, "Yeah, but getting those companies to switch is the thing. Co-ops like Como are going to have to deal with a few problems with this bill. This section states how this bill will assign the certain amounts of credit for the early years of this bill. They have to make sure the utility bills won't go really high. Also, how much cap is getting put on the levels of greenhouse gases let out into the air?" Ralph listened carefully and said, "I realize that. This will help us save our natural resources and make the world a cleaner place to live." They were really quiet for a while. Ralph and Tom didn't say anything to each other for a while. Finally, they think they will just have to find out and see what happens in the future and not sit there and argue about it. Going green is the future for everyone. It will affect the members who use the electricity. It will change the way employees of electric cooperatives like Como, including many of my family members, do their jobs. It will affect you, me, and our children and grandchildren for many generations to come.